Hi, and welcome to the Elly interviews. Today we have Dwayne Richards, who is a financial advisor and is a CPA accountant. But today he's going to give us a different perspective on money. So Dwayne, can you tell us about what the color mirror is?
All right, well, first off, thank you. Color, so there's the color mirrors system, which is really how we use color, and it's the psychology and language of color. So not to get too scientific, we see three primary colors: red, yellow, blue. Back into the the primary school where we learned about color and the science of color. And then energetically, those colors also have, there's energy and communication and other things associated with color. And then we just happen that one of the modalities I use in my business is we use the psychology and language of color as an intuitive tool to look at the patterns and beliefs we have about money.
That's awesome. So you had asked me to get some info from my students, and I did ask around for a couple of people, and I came up with like about 4 or 5 colors. So I'm going to tell you what color they said, okay, and I'll give you their reason why they said it. So for example, when I asked around if you had to describe money as a color, what color would that be? And I got green. And of course, I think that's a common color most people use. So that one wasn't too difficult. Another one was brown, and that's because they said it's like the $100 bill. So that's what they're so associated with. Red was because some of them were in debt, and like, so when they hear money, what color comes in their head? It's like they're in debt, so they're in the red. And black was like for them being in the black, which is the opposite of being in the red.
Oh.
Yeah, and I put in also there was an optional color of blue. So if you can tell us what those colors mean, like the students have one idea of what they think those colors mean, but from the color mirror perspective, what is that telling us, Dwayne?
Yeah, and you picked a couple of the common colors. Not quite sure, but green is our first color. So if you're colorblind, I'm not sure what we do about.
We're all on the same page.
Hopefully we're not colorblind, but green is the first color. I'm just going to make sure I'm just patient. I'm going to use some of my notes that I use just so that not about being right or wrong. It's quite intuitive as well. But you're right. So lots of people, it is quickly think, that's green, sounds good. Money's green. And then from a language and kind of that psychology of color, green is kind of that new beginnings, spring. So when spring comes around, it's the green grass, it's the leaves. So green is associated with new beginnings,
right?
Kind of also hope for the future. So if someone's thinking that their money's green, that also that money, and actually, especially your students, they're actually starting to earn their own money.
Yes.
It's giving them hope for the future, that, okay, as I earn money, I'm able to do stuff in the future with currency.
So it's an applicable color for them. It's a natural thing that they would or should be.
Yeah, it's
identified with.
Yeah, and then just a little bit on the spiritual side, it is connected to the heart, like the heart chakra. So it's green. It's about, it can be, we attach kind of that space and boundaries. So depending if someone's working kind of positively in green, it's, they have good boundaries, kind of like that, a good relationship with money. But if they have kind of if it's more on that negative feeling, like it's a negative feeling of green, that can be kind of that no boundaries. So it could be like, as we, in our day job, we're bringing our work home with us. And then there's kind of that negative feeling because we haven't really distinguished, okay, this is when I'm at work, or this is when I'm not at work. Or when people become entrepreneurs, we work more hours as entrepreneurs, and it's kind of having that clear boundary to say, this is when I'm working and this is when I'm not working. So green can be, and then the biggest one on the kind of on the not so positive side of green is jealousy and envy. So if we're positive thoughts about money, like we have positive thoughts, sometimes we have negative thoughts about money. It's jealousy and envy. So we're looking at other students or our neighbors and saying, but you never know, right? So if I'm looking at my neighbor and my neighbor has a nicer car, nicer house, doesn't mean that they own it. So you kind of, it's what physical, that kind of, we, you know, judging things by the, you know, the book by its cover.
Awesome.
Brown.
So the next one is brown. Yes.
And that's why I also love what you did, because you did some of the homework for me. We got brown. It's kind of brown, but the lighting's here, don't worry. I have black, so this is brown. Now it's fantastic when you talked about your students and asking them why brown. And I'll share a little bit because it's kind of a common person that we know. So you're like, there it is. It's the $100 bill.
Yeah.
Now this is as a quick little story, if it's okay if I share the quick little story.
Absolutely.
My mentor and who you were a guest on with Moya Bush. So one of the things to build a relationship around money is I carry a $100 bill in my wallet. Also, but from a financial advising point of view, because today's world, we become so dependent on credit cards and debit cards. And what happens if your debit card or your credit card doesn't work and you got to fill up your car with gas?
Right.
Or what if you're out and you see something that you really want to have, and you know it's not going to be a big screen TV, but what if it's something, a $100 bill allows you to make that conscious decision to say, well, if I really want it, I can spend it. It also just makes you feel that confidence that I actually have money in my wallet. Also important to actually have a wallet. We'll talk about that maybe after. But brown. So I initially thought, okay, brown's a bit more kind of a darker color and kind of muddied, and you're kind of like maybe confused, but not really. Brown is the Mother Earth. So it means that they're grounded. So they're not floating up in the clouds. So again, as sometimes in students, we have this, okay, I'm going to go get my degree, I'm going to go get my MBA, I'm going to get my accounting, and then I'm going to be, you know, people are going to hire me right away, and I'm going to be earning, you know, 6 figures, and you kind of floating, kind of, it could be true, but maybe you're not quite, maybe everything's not quite 2 feet on the ground. But someone whose money is brown, they do have like potentially their feet are firmly on the ground. We say, you know, grounded, and it's a great place to be. And
okay, so we're on to the next color, which is red, and I'm wearing red. So
red. You're wearing red, exactly. And
I'm wearing red.
And we have red here.
Yeah.
Now, which was
that's a different shade of red, FYI.
Yes. Now that's we had a quick conversation about the different shades of red, because could be like we use kind of like a rose. It's not pink. Like, no, we'll save pink for another day. But the red is actually, red's number 1 on my list here. There's red. So red is the material world. So sometimes we, you know, especially now where a lot of people are coming out of doing related to energy work. So like, people are doing Reiki, massage therapists, yoga. So there's kind of this whole wellness space, and that we're kind of in this violet, kind of more of a violet color than red. Red's at the base, and it's the material world. It's, you know, as we kind of said, it's, you know, red line on your car. So it's kind of like that drive fast energy, and it's physical energy. So if you're wearing red today, and I talked about this before we hit the record button, you know, on Monday, sometimes we need a little bit of energy on Monday. So I attempted to put on, like, I thought they were red, but they're fuchsia. But it's still, if I'm looking for a boost, so if I'm going to the gym, and if I go into the gym to work out, I do actually have a red workout shirt. So I'll put that shirt on, and that will actually give me physical energy first thing in the morning. I wouldn't put on a green shirt to go to the gym, because green's much more calming and more balanced, which is nice. If I need balance, I put on green, but green's more calming, and it's not necessarily going to give me that physical boost of energy. Red will.
So red is an energetic color.
Yeah, they're all the colors actually have an energy attached to them.
No, when I mean energetic, I mean it kind of gives you a boost.
Boost, exactly. Yeah. It is that passion for life. So when you see people wearing red's pretty bold. Like people sometimes that wear like red shoes or wearing kind of that red. Most people are like, whoa, wow, red. Because they have a passion. And you said it's one of your so when you're feeling passionate about life, you're wearing red.
Black, yeah, that's the other color.
In the black. So that was interesting, because you said your students, again, being business students, they associate black as being in the black, which is, if people don't know what in the black means, it's in the positive, that there's money in the account. Now, it's really interesting because when I was doing a lot of Facebook Lives, and we're pulling, and black kept coming up, and kept people kind of who aren't really comfortable with money right now. They're like, oh, why the black? And it really had this, and sometimes black it's a dark spot. So when it's around like depression and kind of the anxiety and anxiousness is more yellow, but real depression, like it's a dark place. You're in the closet. You don't see the light, so you even struggle to see the light. So in some cases, it can be the opposite of your students that were in the red. If someone's really like underwater or almost underwater with their debt, their color is going to be more black. Good chance of it. Just because they just don't see the light. Now the great thing is, and I, personal experience, went through a number, like 3 kind of big things: loss of job, divorce, all this stuff in a short amount of time. It looked pretty dark, and you're kind of hoping to see like that little bit of light. Now the great thing about black is, without black, just like night, without night we don't see day. With day we get no night. So the great thing is, when we are in that bottom, as I say, it's best to bounce. So when you hit the bottom, it's to bounce back up. And really, that's the challenge with depression, that where people really just need that little spark of light to kind of see where there's a
the ray of hope.
Yeah, and that's where the great thing with the job markets now, like compared to like when I came out of university. Actually, I started my first co-op terms in like the early 90s. It was dark times for jobs. There's a lot more opportunities now for students. So there is that light. So even if I have this, I'm going to incur the student debt to get my degree, because I still value that degree, because there is this job market where people, especially, are going to value people's ability to learn.
Yeah. So, absolutely.
Black, as well as black's also being similar to brown. Like black can be grounded. Black is powerful. Like women and men, like it's a black power suit. So there is a sense of power also associated with black. So there's good so far.
So the next one is blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue, a nice blue, like sky blue color, as opposed to indigo blue. And we had this conversation about men seeing like blue versus, we're not talking, because turquoise for us, turquoise is a different color.
Yeah,
turquoise is that blue green.
Which shade of blue are you referring to?
Blue is blue. So that's kind of interesting. So we get the so a quick little science. We talked a little bit about that. So the science. So the blue, and the complementary color to blue is orange. Red and yellow together make orange. So we got blue, complementary color to blue is orange. So again, depending on it, they associate blue, but it could be also an undertone of orange, because orange is creative and blissful. So I had a colleague who actually has her program. So she actually uses like orange and blue together, because sometimes people are picking, like they pick blue, but really there's this undertone of orange.
Mm-hmm.
But you asked for blue, so I'm going to give you blue. Blue is peaceful, like blue skies, blue calm waters. If I look up in the sky, it's blue. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's peaceful. Now it also talked about men in blue, right? Not men in black. We're not chasing men in blue. So the police. So it also, blue is associated with authority.
And safety.
And safety and protection. Order, dependable, and also people that pick blue like security. So when I said, when I have clients who pick blue, generally they're more likely to be in a 9-to-5 job, as opposed to being entrepreneurial and running their own business. If someone's in a job and they say blue and they're like, but I really want to do my own business, I'm like, I know you like the idea, but subconsciously it scares the heck out of you, as opposed to someone who's picked red. If someone picks red and they're in a day job, generally I'd be like starting to like coach them, like, okay, how do we kind of maybe shift,
transition you out of,
because there is that opportunity. Now on the shadows pink, just as a last little teaser, as a bonus for your students.
Okay.
Pink is the color frequency of love and money. And it's really fascinating. So even the people that are familiar with the group, it's like sometimes we struggle, and we struggle with one or the other or both. So sometimes when we have good relationships, we don't have money. Sometimes when we have money, our relationships aren't so great. Sometimes when we don't have love or money, we're kind of in that black, but that's kind of the negative feeling of pink.
Right.
When we're really balanced, including self, really have really good relationship with ourselves, money comes to us. And when we're really struggling with kind of who we are, money doesn't come to us at all. So it's pink. And the really cool thing about pink is just red with a lot of light added to it. So it's that I'm comfortable in that red material business world, but I've injected it with a whole bunch of light. So actually pink, and that's why pink, not red, is the color of money, because pink is red intensified with light.
So that's interesting. Pink is the color of money. Never have guessed that, Dwayne. I think this is a really good introduction for students who have never heard about this topic, and you just touched I think the tip of the iceberg here for us today, so I do appreciate that. I always like red, and it's my default color. I've been accused of overusing this color. My other color would be blue, and then after that would be green.
Even when it comes to your money?
Okay, for my money. Well, now that you see, I can't do that now because I know pink is the right answer.
You'll have money after.
Oh, you mean quick? Okay, let me close my eyes. Close my eyes. You see, I'm seeing burgundy. I don't know what that means.
Magenta. So there's that magenta, but burgundy is kind of that kind of a purple with a bit of red to it. Which there is that red, but then there's also the purple, which is kind of that spiritual component of it. As I said, when you were on the magenta show, the magenta color, it's 3 parts red, 1 part violet, to say that we can be in a business world with a violet of service approach.
Yeah, because I have the purple campaign that I run every year.
Yeah, exactly.